Hello. In this talk, I'll be giving you some tips and advice on how to give good poster presentation. Now, in university, we're typically engaged in three activities. We do some research, we write up about it in a report or paper, and finally, we present our work in a talk, an oral talk, or a poster presentation. Now, this talk focuses on the last activity, how to give talks, or in this case, how to give poster presentations. Now, many people think that their talk is a G-zipped or a compressed version of their paper, and therefore they try to cram all the details of their paper into a 20-minute talk. Now that makes the talk really hard to follow. Instead, a better way to view the relationship between these three activities is as follows. The paper and the talk are different retellings of the story of your research. And because they're different retellings, they're different versions, which means they can use different words. In fact, the amount of details between a paper and a talk could be different. The sequencing of the storyline could also be different. This is the key idea in this presentation. If you forget everything else, do not forget the slide. It is the most important slide. Again, let me emphasize, giving a talk is telling the same story but in a different way. Now in your paper, you would have described your algorithms and equations, your experiments, tables, charts and figures. All these details are appropriate and in fact necessary for your paper. But in your talk, stay with the main ideas. Give enough details, of course, but stay at the high level. Explain the motivation. What made you do this research in the first place? Whatever your answer, do not say,
Because my supervisor made me do it.
here's the roadmap for the rest of this talk. What makes a good story? Well, a good story is one with a head, a body, and what? No tail? No, a good story should have a proper ending. So make sure you pace yourself to give enough time to cover the head, the body, and the tail. A more engaging story is one with twists and turns in the plot. So if you have an unexpected discovery in your research, or if there's some failure in the beginning that you struggled to overcome, that's an interesting thing to tell your audience. And since we're computer science people, this analogy may be more appealing. Think of your research as a tree, with nodes and edges, with a root and many leaves. When you give a talk, choose a path from the root to the leaf. One path is enough. You can omit the branches. Remember, your talk is the teaser to your paper. If your audience is interested, they can read the details in your paper. The key idea in effective communication is to explain the key idea in your research. Now, your audience may be lost in all the details, so be sure to have one slide or one chart or one equation clearly labeled with your key idea. That way, when all is said and done, your audience will remember exactly what you did. When it comes to mathematics and equations and details, less is more. Moreover, if you are to use abbreviations, use only if they are well known. Avoid things like SSFX and FSXF, which sound too similar. Instead, use words like our method versus our competitor's method. This is a lot clearer. Additional material. It's always good to have additional material. Hide them as slides at the end of your talk. Or if you're giving a poster presentations, have your laptop or tablet ready, or even print hard copies of these additional slides. These can contain additional proofs or experiments or more charts and diagrams of your research. As a good speaker, you should anticipate likely questions from the audience. Anticipate the questions and prepare answers to them ahead of time. Nothing impresses the audience more than to show them that you are well prepared. That completes what I have to say about content. Next, let's look at audience. Put humans in a dimly lit, cozy room with a constant background drone, and what happens? Yup, they fall asleep. It's the human thing to do. Let's try and understand a little bit about human psychology. Now, it is well known that humans have limited short-term memory. At any one time, a person can only remember 7 plus or minus 2 things. Also, humans have a short attention span. They tune out quickly if nothing interesting is happening. However, humans are known to respond positively to visual and oral stimuli. They also respond to eye contact. With this understanding in mind, let's now look at 5 ways you can put your audience to sleep. 1. Speak inaudibly. Mumble your words. 2. Maintain a monotonous voice. 3. Fill your poster with lots of equations and text. 4. Avoid eye contact. Look at the sky, look at the ceiling, look at the floor, look everywhere else, but do not look at the eyes. It's dangerous to look at the eye. 5. Hide behind a poster. Hide behind someone bigger than you. Hide behind the table. Just hide so that the audience hears your voice but sees no one. Of course, you shouldn't do any of those negative things. I was only kidding. Instead, here are 5 ways to engage your audience. 1. Dress smartly and conservatively. The tip I learned is never to dress below your audience. So if your audience shows up in t-shirt and shorts, well, just don't show up in your swimming costume. But seriously, folks, dressing smartly means putting on a long sleeve shirt, throw on a jacket if you have one. Stand up straight with a good posture. This makes you look professional and confident. 2. Speak clearly. Pronounce your words. Project your voice. Vary the pace and the pitch. 3. Avoid visual overload. Minimize the use of symbols. Instead, use icons and images. 4. Look at the audience. Maintain eye contact with them. If there's a group of people in front of you, look at each person in turn. 5. Smile, and the whole world smiles with you. Move around, but not too much. This helps to make you more relaxed and takes away your nervousness. It's a good idea to empty your pockets. If you have keys or coins, remove them because they may jingle and cause a distraction. Recall from psychology that humans have limited short-term memory. This just means you must repeat your message. Tell them what you're going to tell them, and then tell them what you told them. Now this should naturally happen in the introduction of your talk, in the body, and in the summary. By all means, use different words. Don't repeat yourself verbatim, but make sure you say your message 3 times so that it sticks in the mind of your listener. After your talk, you have to handle Q&A. Now this can get awkward. If there are no questions, it usually means you gave a boring talk. Remember the proverb, everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger. While this is especially true when you give a talk and when you handle Q&A, you should never get angry. Stay cool even if your audience isn't. Here's a trick I often use. When someone asks me something, I would repeat and rephrase the question. This clarifies the question for me and for the one asking. It also allows others in the audience to hear it so that they can follow along. And it buys you time. There's nothing more annoying for your audience who is asking you a question than for you to answer the wrong question. So make sure you understand the question clearly before you answer it. And finally, Watch the clock. Don't overrun your allotted time. Be flexible to adjust your pace, and don't let difficult questions derail your talk. Okay, so let's summarize what I've been saying. Your talk is a different retelling of the story of your research. Now, because it is a version different from your paper, feel free to adjust the content of your talk to keep it interesting. Also, keep in mind human psychology so that your audience will remember your message. Thank you for watching, and good luck for your presentation.